Am I the asshole for telling my wife that leaving her used pad in my brother's place was inappropriate? My wife and I were invited to my brother's 31st birthday. He's single and lives alone in his apartment. So to give you the heads-up, my wife and him don't get along so well. But can be civil enough to sit at the same table. So, we went and had dinner and talked and everything was going well. No argument, nothing till after my wife went to use the bathroom. Later my brother went to use the bathroom, then came back looking pissed. He kept giving me and my wife looks, but I didn't know what was going on till he pulled me aside before we left and told me that my wife had left her used pad in his bathroom. I was shocked and didn't know what to say because this felt highly inappropriate. He said he didn't appreciate what my wife did and that it was a sign of disrespect towards him. I apologized profoundly and said I didn't know about it. He asked me to speak to her or she wouldn't be welcome in his place anymore. We got in the car and I asked my wife about it. She nonchalantly said there was nothing wrong with what she did and that my brother was being ridiculous. I kind of flipped and told her it was very inappropriate for her to leave her used pad in his place even if it was in the bathroom and in the trash can because it made him uncomfortable. She yelled asking what she was supposed to do and I told her she could have took it with her and threw it outside, not in his bathroom, that's my brother's place, and he told me how he felt about it. She yelled at me calling my brother an incel and me an asshole for getting in her face about it. She said she needed to use the bathroom and it's not like the pad was vittable since she dumped it in the trash can. At home we still argued about it and she kept on calling me and my brother names. She's currently not speaking to me and is avoiding me entirely. Regardless, I feel like it's his place and he gets to express what makes him uncomfortable in it. Edit. I can't give info or expand on what was seen, but I can tell you that the trash can does not have a lid. It's not like one of those trash cans that have a lid on top and you can push it. What I want to emphasize on is the fact that as guests we should respect people's homes and not argue about what makes them uncomfortable. He said it made him uncomfortable and that should, in my opinion, be acknowledged. Oh. See. The way you were describing it made it seem like she left it unwrapped on the edge of the sink or something. But she threw it away. In the bin. That's meant for trash. So yeah, you are the asshole. Please walk me trough the logic here like I'm 5, cause you lost me. The pad is too disgusting to put in the bathroom trash can, so you would rather that she put it in a pocket, her purse, or just carry it around instead. It's too disgusting for the literal trash can, so she should instead carry it on her person? During a birthday party? Am I the asshole for being upfront and telling my parents that I am putting them in a home? My family is from South Asia but we live in the States. My parents loved my older brother and tolerated me. They expected me to just stay home and take care of them and my brother. That wasn't for me. I got a partial scholarship to a state school and GTFO. I worked the 4 years of my undergrad and was fortunate enough to get a full scholarship for my after degree. So I graduated university with only a small debt and 2 degrees. I found a career that I really enjoy and a husband who loves me. My parents paid for my brother's education and he does very well for himself. But he has chosen to have 5 children. And they all go to private school and have all kinds of extracurricular activities. And his wife is a som even though they have a nanny. I know 5 young children would be difficult to manage. I'm just saying that she has a degree as well, but they have chosen to be a one-income household. We are expecting our first child. We waited a few years before deciding to start our family. We will be stopping at 2 and my husband will be getting a vasectomy afterwards. We are very much in agreement about our future. My parents, however, have decided that they are going to sell their home and come live with us. We have a large property with an in-law suite in a HCOL city on the west coast. I told my husband that I did not want them living with us and he concurred. So I told them no. They said that they already listed their home and that a dutiful daughter would take care of her parents in their old age. I said that if they gave me all the money from the sale of their home I would find them a nice retirement home where they could live and that I would pay the bills until they passed away. They didn't like that idea very much. They called me an ungrateful child and that it was expected of me. I sent them a check for 1 year's worth of rent, food, utilities, and sundries. I said I moved out 1 year after I turned 18 and that they were responsible for me up to that point. I then told them not to contact me again without going through my lawyer. I have been playing whack-a-mole, blocking all of their attempts to reach me. And all of the family members both in the States and back home that are calling me an asshole. My brother contacted me and said that I was making the family look bad by not taking them in. So I gave him the choice of either taking them in himself or never bringing it up to me again, or I would be going NC with him as well. So was I too harsh? And does that make me an asshole? I should probably add that they didn't approve of me marrying a person not from their culture and religion. So they didn't contribute to our wedding even though they did attend. Not the asshole. DNA doesn't entitle anyone to anything you don't want to give. Not the asshole. Girl. You're handling your shit like a champ. You're freaking heroic. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes and the awards, I'm stoked. Yous are the best. Not the asshole. I would pay money to read every single update on this story, just so you know. Not the asshole. I am very impressed with the hardline boundaries you set up so quickly, and I have a feeling you will have no problem keeping them. As to the rest of the family, as you have stated, they are welcome to open up their homes and/or wallets and house them if they feel so strongly about the family image. Seriously impressed. It's so refreshing to read about someone who actually respects themselves and doesn't roll over to be walked on. The golden child needs to shut up and make room for mommy and daddy. Your parents don't get to treat you like your only existence is to serve them. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for crying and asking my boyfriend to leave over a burger? I, 21F, recently found out I'm pregnant. Woo. Getting to the 6-month mark, it's a complicated pregnancy and I'm exhausted. My boyfriend, 28, moved in with me because of it. It wasn't expected but we're making do. I'm training to be a teacher and he's currently looking for employment. Technically I'm working 2 jobs to support the both of us. It's tiring, but he's looking so it's not over that. There's a local burger place I'd been wanting. We rarely go but I've been having cravings. They shut at a certain time. He agreed to it. He agreed to ordering since they only have one veggie burger I like. It's not as though there's multiple things I can have. They shut at 9. I got home at 8:40 and he hadn't ordered, and by the time he went to it was too late. I started crying because I've been craving that all week and all I wanted was a burger and a hot shower. I couldn't even have a shower since he used the last of the hot water. He didn't apologize and offered to go Burger King, which I didn't want, and he got all silent claiming I'm being an asshole since he's been job hunting all day. As I see it, my day started at 6 a.m. and ended when I got in bed at 9:30. His day started at 9 a.m. and ended at 9:30. But I've got the extra weight of pregnancy. We got into an argument about how we're comparing days and that he's overwhelmed. I asked him to leave, because I don't like arguing, and he had to stay in his car since he moved in with me, away from friends. He argued that I'm blowing it out of the window because I'm pregnant and not considering his feelings, because he's overwhelmed. So am I? My friends say I'm the asshole because he's probably in over his head, and had to sleep in his car over a burger. Am I the asshole? I know I said woo to be sarcastic. I'm not excited, but I do love the baby already. Excuse my grammar, I'm okay when focusing but honestly not that good with English. Edit. I can't respond to everyone. Thank you for your responses. When you said that you got pregnant and he moved in, I assumed that that was to help you and Kittle to start a family. Apparently not the case at all. I'm going to be very harsh here. He has to stop talking about finding a job and find a goddamn job. You have to stop working 2 jobs to help support him. Your job is to support that baby, not him. Actually, that's his job as well. You may notice I have not discussed the burger, and that's because it's irrelevant. You are not the asshole, but you need to take several steps back and evaluate your options. Edit. I want to thank everyone who upvoted my comment and gave me an award. I am bowled over by your kindness. Am I the asshole for giving my late husband's brother and his kids 3 days to move out? My late husband, Adam, M36, passed away a month ago. He had lung cancer and was terminal. I live in his house that he owned. Still haven't done anything concerning inheritance. His brother lost his job and place and moved in with me a week ago. I gotta admit I wasn't too pleased to have him move in with me, but I had no choice after I got talked into it by family and since we had the chance to help each other grieve. Here's the situation. He started randomly walking into the bedroom and excusing it as needing to borrow something from Adam's closet. He wears his clothes and even started using his stuff, razor, laptop, etc. He also got his hands on his piano, which to me felt disrespectful because Adam wouldn't want it touched or moved. I try to have conversations with him about what's allowed, what's not, but he'd throw the "would Adam want you to treat me like that?" line at me. It made me feel frustrated. I seriously started contemplating telling him to leave. Now the current conflict, I finally brought myself to open Adam's closet and found a box full of wrapped gifts. I read the piece of paper at the bottom and he wrote that he had got me a gift for next year's occasions in advance since he knew he wouldn't be around much longer. I was absolutely stunned. I looked at the gifts but didn't open them. There was a gift for my birthday, Valentine's, our wedding anniversary, Christmas and so on. He said he wanted this gesture to also serve as a comforting method so I wouldn't feel so devastated since we know that grief gets tense during these times. I could not believe it. I mean, he was always this thoughtful but I never just knew that his thoughtfulness could reach this level. I was out yesterday, and when I returned I found that my nephews had opened all the gifts and ruined them. I was appalled, my joy instantly faded. I had a huge argument with brother-in-law but he said the kids were curious and that it was my fault for not concealing my stuff like I should. I told him he had 3 days to move out. He started ranting about how it's his brother's house and how I was ruining family relationships over few gifts. Mill got involved and took his side saying he's grieving and this is his brother's house and that I'm acting unhinged. Am I being too emotional? I wanted to feel his presence in his presence this upcoming year but I feel like it was ruined for me. Not the asshole. Adam's brother is clearly taking advantage of your grief to benefit himself. He can't just help himself to your husband's belongings simply because your husband was his brother. He and his children should not be entering your room without asking you. They should not be taking or borrowing Adam's belongings without asking you. I feel bad for the kids and would normally say give them more time, but you can't trust them to not start messing with your belongings. Death brings out the worst in people. I'm not sure your brother-in-law is even grieving at this point, though. He's blaming his kids ruining your gifts on you? Why were they anywhere near the gifts? Because he wasn't watching them, that's why. He's trying to work a terrible situation to his advantage. This crew can go stay with Mill. Not the asshole. They will forever guilt and manipulate you if given the chance. He will never move out voluntarily. Send him packing. Your husband would not have wanted this.